Hello, we're back. We're still doing this. We are staying on it. We are determined to make this a thing and make this real and keep it going. And that's what we're doing. This is episode 3. I know that I told you that today would be the Pizza Chronicles, but that's not going to happen today. That period of my life was a little stressful, a little anxiety inducing, a little traumatic. There's definitely good. There's plenty of good stories in there. I met a lot of great people because of that job. Uh, Working with your family isn't always the worst thing in the world, but it is really challenging and can put a lot of stress on your actual like interpersonal relationships within your family, and that just sort of compounds with the challenges of actually running the business and makes your life pretty hard. And I sort of want to gather my thoughts on that a little bit better. And also, like I mentioned, I sort of want to sit down with my parents and make sure that they're cool with me airing out what is technically not my business. It's quite literally their business. So they will make the final call in terms of what all I delve into. Gigi, I need you to calm down. I need you to be chill today because you've been doing good, but I need you to stay doing good. And got off to the hottest start. You're bumping the microphone. You're all up in my shit, and that's not gonna work. Okay, whatever. We're gonna ignore her, and we're gonna focus on actual, real, good, productive type of conversation for this entire time. This is incrementally better than episode 2. A little bit better today. A little bit better the next one. A little bit better the next one. And we keep going. But yeah, we're not gonna get into the the time of me, and I guess I keep saying I owned a restaurant. I was literally not technically involved in the ownership in any way, shape, or form. It was literally just a family business. It was my mom and my dad's business. I wasn't signed on to anything. Me and my sister just sort of got dragged along for the ride. We were told that that was a decision that my parents decided to make, and sort of had to adapt to that moving forward. I'm going to remove her. She's driving me a little insane. She's going to come right back. But I'll take the brief pause. That was not enough of a pause. That was that was incredibly brief. But that's Gigi. Just you're the worst fucking co-host of all time. We are not digging into that part of my life. Like I said, I want to flesh that out a little bit. I want to get some final thumbs ups from a couple of people that aren't me, and I also just I don't want to dig into that right now. I'm feeling very positive. I'm feeling very inspired, very determined. I'm like I said, I sat and I watched myself talk for a significant amount of time and didn't hate it. So that's a good feeling. That was not something that I expected. That's a good thing. So I'm not gonna try and put a damper on that on purpose. You know, I don't want to. I don't want to dig into anything too heavy immediately and sort of bum myself out and make this a sad thing. And yeah, no, like I said, it would ruin it. I would not want to do it as much as I want to right now. So we're gonna keep it upward trajectory, good things for a little bit, and then I'll start complaining about everything that's ever happened to me. Uh, a little piece of business that I would like to address, kind of right off the bat. I sort of got out of hand there, but sort of off right off the bat. I want to send a special shout out to Max. Uh, MX versus the railroad industry, MX versus trains. However you know him, Uh, Thank you very much, Max. As you have heard from the first two episodes and the beginning of this one, I have a sort of theme song for the show that I've had picked out for as long as I've wanted to do the show. The name is Fraud Complex, and the song is Imposter Syndrome, and those sort of go hand in hand. Those sort of play off of each other, and the song itself is just sort of matches the audio visual like editing style that I want, and just the general vibe of the podcast. It's the puzzle piece that fits perfectly. And I literally just reached out to him cold and asked if I could use it, and he said go for it. So I greatly appreciate that. Thank you, Max. Uh I officially have the theme song secured, and I started editing with it. I included it before I technically had permission. I told him that, but I was very excited. I knew, like I said, it was the sort of it was just the perfect song, and I wanted to lock that down, and it's locked down. So I'm very happy about that. Thanks, Max. Uh, Moving on. No pizza stories today. I guess this isn't the most positive, uplifting thing in its place, but it's something that happened to me literally earlier today, and it's on my mind, and I had a lot of thoughts about it today, and I want to sit here and put them down because they sort of ring true to a lot of my ideas about where America is right now in general. Uh, so I'm trying to get my own business, clothing brand, YouTube channel, podcast, creative platform off the ground. And I want to do it by the books. I don't want to get any sort of like legal notices down the road that I could easily avoid by just being thorough and going step by step and doing things the right legal way now. So I filed for an LLC. That was relatively simple. That's at the state level, so I think it's a little less complicated. But that literally took like a few minutes. I filled out the application, paid for it. I'm officially a limited liability company in the state of Kansas. And after that, I went to apply for an employer identification number so that I can create business banking accounts and get my business away from my personal. Again, I'm just trying to keep myself completely covered. I don't want tax problems. I don't want legal problems. I don't want any type of shit like that because I don't have the money to pay for a lawyer of any kind to help me solve them. So I'm just going to avoid the problem in the first place, hopefully. But no, you have to get an EIN to have business banking under your business. Because if not, it's under your social security number, and that's you personally. That's still not business banking, and you're going to get in trouble for mixing personal with business transactions. So I'm trying to get an EIN. On the website and every other spot that I read on how to do it, it says that it takes a few minutes and you'll get it instantly. And I went through, I filled out everything, double checked everything before I submitted it. It gives me some stupid error. It says, we can't issue you an EIN right now. Reference code 101, call us. So I typed that into the super intelligence. I'm like, ChatGPT, what is going on here? It says, not a big deal. There's not literally anything wrong with your application. It's just some sort of technical issue is hanging up the like automated website application system. So just call them. Just do it. Shouldn't be hard. You just tell them that you need to get issued an EIN, and they'll do it over the phone. I was like, okay, whatever. I absolutely hate automated phone systems, but I can brave them. This is for my business. I have to do this. So I give them a call this morning. I sit on hold for 45 minutes probably. Uh Magically out of nowhere, I have been literally just walking around at work half focused because I'm like, when is someone gonna pick up? When is someone gonna pick up? When is some just constantly just waiting. But finally somebody picks up. I get someone to help me. I say, hey, I'm trying to get an EIN. I'm trying to start a business, trying to open a bank account. It's giving me shit on the website. Can you please help me? She says, absolutely. Give me all your information and I'll look it up. So I give her all the information that I'm using. She looks it up. She gets back with me. She says, there doesn't seem to be any reason that you can't apply online from what I can see here. So if you want to give it another shot, you can. But if that doesn't work, there are other ways that you can file. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll give it another shot. If you could guess, it didn't fucking work. So I immediately call back and I get a different lady, and she is nowhere near as polite as the first lady. I would like to mention this lady was not very nice. They gave me their badge or I get ID number, whichever, right at the beginning of the phone call, and I should have wrote them down because this lady was kind of rude. Federal employee being rude. I'm so surprised by that. Read into that sarcasm. But no, this lady was nowhere near as nice as the other lady. I described my situation and like almost interrupting me, she says, "You have to file manually by fax or mail. The online system is denying you because your information is too similar to another business." Okay, well, this is news to me. I just talked to someone else and she said that everything should be good. As far as she could tell, I should be able to apply based off of the information that I gave her. And she said, "Well, I don't know what to tell you. If it wasn't working, it wasn't working. You'll have to apply by fax or by mail. That will take 8 business days minimum for fax or 4 weeks minimum for mail." Did this lady really just tell me to send a fax or send actual mail, physical postage in the year 2026? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That is fucking ridiculous. I think I have sent one fax in my entire life, and it was only to like learn how it worked because I worked in an office space where I would occasionally maybe have to send a fax. So I think I've sent one ever. So you expect me to use two of the most outdated fucking dinosaur paleolithic methods of communication to speak to the federal government because your website is shit and is denying me for no reason. But apparently it's not no reason. Apparently if the business name is similar or identical to another business in the IRS's system already, it's just going to automatically deny you. And it's going to do that every single time. I've tried, I think, a total of 3 or 4 times now to get this shit to go through, and it doesn't work. It gives me the same reference code every time. How how on earth, with the amount of money that our federal government spends on a yearly basis, with the amount of money that the IRS takes out of my paychecks every year, do you really not have an online system that is, I don't know, advanced or in depth or, I don't know, just like good enough to like double check that something is actually different? The name being the same just completely fucking breaks the whole thing. You're taking 30+% of my money every year and that breaks it? That is that's so stupid. That's so stupid. So I had to get inventive. I had to Google how do I send a fax today? Like where do I send a fax? How do I send a fax? Is there a store that will let me send a fax? But I found, fortunately, it's very easy. You just download an app on your phone and upload the documents and fax it digitally. So I did get very worked up and just sit here and go on a whole tirade about it just for it to be not the biggest deal in the world. And I'm sort of reflecting on that fact right now. But that's still annoying. Just surface level, that is annoying as shit. It was a much easier problem to solve than I anticipated, but that's annoying as shit, and that's just a microcosm into the outdated, bogged down, unrealistic, out of touch, fucking stupid system that we are operating under right now. And whatever, I'm about to get political with this because it's on my mind and it's going on right now. And I'm sitting here complaining about the government. So it's super on my mind. We're in a time loop. We are stuck in a repeating process, and we are coming back around in the circle to invading a country. When I was, I guess, a little bit after I was born, and I was, it was what, the spring or summer of '03. So I would have been just short of 3. Would have been 2. When I was 2, uh, we went into Iraq and killed a fuck ton of people and discovered and destroyed 0 weapons of mass destruction and just like destabilized the region and just sort of let Iran take over the country after we were done with it. And when I was a kid, okay, obviously when it happened, I didn't even have a fucking chance of understanding what was going on. I was a toddler. But as I got older and I learned about that and heard like the perspectives of my dad and all of like the conservative talk radio hosts that he would listen to, I'd hear their opinion on it, and then there would be like other people who are like completely anti-war hippies, and like I didn't really understand where all of that came from. I was sort of just given the default uh education of hippies are like lazy drug addict bums that are stupid and don't know anything and don't know what's good for America, and we should go in and just clobber all of these Middle Eastern people and steal their resources. But that that mentality definitely doesn't resonate with me at all. I'm not an imperialist colonialist type of guy. That doesn't really sit well with me. I kind of want to just mind my own business. The opposite opinion or mindset or whatever doesn't really make a ton of sense to me either, because I mean obviously there are bad people in the world. I'm not saying that you don't go to war with another country ever, but if I okay, I guess this isn't the most succinct and well crafted analogy that you can make, but it sort of makes sense. If the IRS's EIN application system is so shit that you can't have an identical company name without it completely fucking freezing up and exploding and not working, there is absolutely no way that the United States government should be spending as much money as it is spending on foreign aid and foreign wars and literally all the other bullshit that it's doing. Just sending money to Israel, uh, just whenever they want. That it doesn't make sense to me. It's if the system here is fucked up, the fact that we're trying to fix anywhere else first doesn't really make sense. You keep your side of the street clean. You're in charge of what you are in charge of, and after that is when you can start considering helping out other people. But I mean, America's in the shitter. I mean, it's bad. Gas was cheap. It's great. We invaded Venezuela and stole all their oil, and gas was going to be cheap forever. LA people, don't get mad at me for complaining about this dollar value for a gallon of gas, because I know that it's different out there and it exists on a scale. But the fact that it immediately jumps back up to $3 a gallon. See, what did you accomplish? What did you solve? You invaded a country, kidnapped their leader, threw him in a prison in New York. Allegedly, you got $1 trillion worth of oil out of it. You immediately shipped a bunch of it to Israel. Just saying. And all of a sudden, we're still invading Iran because apparently we still need more oil and land and resources out of the Middle East. I mean, like, nothing makes. I'm sitting here trying to like keep myself together logically, but I'm realizing that the shit that I'm saying doesn't add up logically. So that's sort of a hard thing to do. If the way that things are going and the decisions that people are making don't match up, then I guess I shouldn't be super surprised when the result doesn't make any fucking sense for anybody. That we sort of went off on a tangent there. I'm gonna cut that where I'm gonna stop that where I stopped. And yeah, no, it's just I'm gonna keep going, I guess. It's just why in the fuck are we going to war with Iran if I can't get an EIN from the IRS? And that's about it. Let's let's clean our shit up. Let's make our shit good. And then go worry about other people's shit, I guess. I don't know. Damn. I got fired up there. I was into that. This episode is not brought to you by Bloom Energy, but if they want to, I will literally say whatever they want me to in order for them to sponsor this show. I love this shit so much. Email me or something. This episode is, however, brought to you by my own blood, sweat, and tears. If there are any companies out there interested in giving me an incredibly early, incredibly preemptive, but greatly appreciated sponsorship, there's an email in the description. Back to yapping. Whew, whoa, that was like I said, that almost got away from me. The inner conservative talk radio host that lives deep inside of me almost jumped all the way out. I like that. As soon as I did that, Gigi jumped. We're in sync right now. There's a few more things about myself that I should get more in depth about because they matter and they they matter a lot, and I love them a lot, and they are maybe top one and two things in life, right? Actually, fuck the maybe. They are absolutely top one and two things going on in life right now. And those two things aren't things. That's a little wild of me to put it that way. But they're people. The first one being my girlfriend Jessica. Uh I if you know me, you are you are aware of the fact that I have had my ups, I have had my downs, I've had my in the middle, stuck, no idea, bleh, periods in my love life. Some of it, some of the things that have gone wrong have been my fault. Some of them haven't. Uh, some of them caused a lot of damage. Some of them didn't. But it's been kind of kind of put this diplomatically. It's been, man, I don't know. These one word descriptors are kind of tough, but I don't know. I used formative already, and that's not good enough. But it's I've learned a lot, and I've learned both through success and failure. And at the end of the day, I realized the fact that the good stuff has to happen, and the good stuff that you might be upset about not being around anymore, you have to let go because it's not it's not what really works, you know? There's obviously like nostalgia and like thinking back on like good times in your life. But those can't really last either. You can appreciate them obviously, but those can't last either because the bad things that you don't like to think about and the good things that you do like to think about, those all take you stepping stone at a time to exactly where you're at. And I wouldn't be in the very happy, very compatible, very very nourishing, happy relationship that I'm in right now if I hadn't been taught the lessons that I've been taught in the past. So, yeah, Jessica, I know that you're watching this. Well, I guess I don't know for a fact, but I really hope that you're watching this because you're on the short list of people that I sort of require to watch this. If the strangers don't like it, you have to like it. So, hi. I love you. Uh I'm going to have you on sometime soon. I need to figure out how to record both sound and video for two people. But it's going to happen, and she will get the chance to introduce herself and you guys will get the chance to meet her. And oh god, this is so crazy. The the other person that I want to show some love to is she's not Earthside yet, but she will be soon. Uh Me and Jessica found out in early November that we were pregnant and found out a few months after that, pretty much as soon as we could get a test done that would accurately tell us that we're having a baby girl. And we've had names picked out for a while. We've had the idea of two kids, a boy and a girl, picked out for quite a while. So uh, we were prepared for either result, but we've had a girl name picked out forever. So Lucy, uh, I don't want to be like super corny about this. I don't want to do like a whole time capsule, like now that you can understand this, like sit down and watch it and like high from the past type thing. But I do just quickly want to say that a lot of this is for me. I've I've gone into that a couple of different times. This is a bit of a selfish thing. I want to improve through this podcast, and I want to create better opportunities for myself through this podcast. But more than anything, I have been whipped up into the frenzy that I'm in right now because of you. And I realized that the timeline of being in a position to give my children uh the life that they want, that I want them to have, and I'm sure that they want to. The timeline to get myself in a position to do that is a lot shorter than I was ever anticipating. I kids were 27 to 30 range probably. I just sort of didn't believe that I could do that right now. I'm a broke 25-year-old who's not really got it all put together yet. And I figured that people have kids once they have everything put together yet. What the hello? Once they have everything put together. Um but that's not the way that things are being sequenced for me. The the reason to have your life together is coming faster than having your life together. But I think that's okay because like I said, I am I am as determined as I ever have been to make my shit happen and to create a lifestyle and a standard of living that is better for me and for Jessica. But now I just have an even better reason. If you know me personally and I didn't share this news with you before this very moment, uh, I I'm sorry. I I did my best to go through all of my social circles and make sure that everybody knew. But if I didn't tell you and you're finding out through a podcast, not quite as sentimental as I'd like it to be. But now that you know, I'm glad you know. Uh, shit, where are we at? 40 minutes. 40 of them. Do I got 20 more? Uh, no. No. I think we'll end it there for today. That was a lot and it was a little disorganized and all over the place, but that's how it's going to be for a little while. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll get a little bit better and the next one's going to be a little bit better. And okay, I'm not going to say it for the 1000th time. Subscribe on YouTube. Next episode should be available on Spotify and Apple and wherever the fuck else you get your podcasts. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Threads. Episode 4. I'm not gonna pick a topic because it immediately didn't work for episode 3. I'm not gonna tie myself to anything right now. I'll figure out what I want to yak at you about next, and I will talk to you then. Bye.